Hi friends, it's Becky, and it is time to open up the Thanks a Latte design kit from Softflex Company. This is not a monthly bead subscription. It is, however, a kit or design kit that they put together to a theme and curate every month. There's a new kit that's released every month, and then we can design with that kit after it's been revealed and enter a contest in the Softflex VIB Facebook group to win another kit. It's a really fun and encouraging group. It's one of the places that I started out making jewelry and just found such a great and encouraging and fantastic community. A lot of the people who watch my channel, they are part of that Softflex community, and so I'm really happy that I get to play around with these some more. This is one of my favorite kits to get every month, and I'd like to not only get the kit, but I also like to purchase the bead strand that usually comes. Is sold separately from the bead kit, and it's designed by Jesse James Beads, but it usually adds a really great additional element. Oh my gosh, I love this bead in the middle here. So I'm going to be unstringing that as well and sorting it into my 15 grid organizer along with my kit. This is my favorite way to store and organize my monthly bead boxes and bead kits. So I'm going to be using this. Let's get this opened. I usually open this and share this, after the official reveal has happened on the Softflex YouTube channel. If you missed that, go check out the Softflex channel and you can catch it on replay. But this will give us a list of everything that's in here, and it'll give us some dates and times and everything right there. With that, there's also a coupon code on that side that you can use at the Softflex site for some other things. They usually have a deal every week, a new deal going on, whether it's a coupon code or, free gift with purchase or something like that. It's pretty great. So this cord, actually, it's braided cord. This would actually probably be really great for knotting something where you've got like the fun metallic thing going on, but also if you melt the point a little bit so that it can slide into some beads, you can string some beads pretty easily onto this, I think. So I'm going to keep that and maybe do some knotting with it. Actually, maybe we'll do a little knotting project with the beads in here after I get it sorted. Let's try that. Let's see if I can do a little knotting project with this after I get this sorted. But first, let's open up the kit. Let's get it sorted. Let's get it organized. And then we'll see if there are beads in here that would lend itself to that. Because there might be. Ooh. I am seeing some beads that, oh, look at this, the coffee beans. That's from Da Beads. So those are some check glass coffee bean beads on some head pins, it looks like, with some metals. I'm going to nickel test the metals on this to verify if they are good or safe for my sister to wear. But look at that. Already got a pair of earrings that you can wear. If you're not into that, you can take these apart and use them in different things in a different design. Like you could take each of these and add them as charms on a bracelet or something like that. Oh, I love this. On this Thanks a Latte. This is the Jesse James Beads bead mix, and I love that we've got these little crochet beads in here. That's very like sweater weathery. And then we've got some ceramic beads. These are large hole beads. These would be fantastic strung on some leather or something like that. Look at these beautiful fire polish beads. They're like a two-tone bead where they've got this like Montana blue and crystal. And then these fire polish beads are just a really warm, is that a Picasso finish on them? It's fantastic. Ooh, and some ceramic cake and coffee mugs. How cute are these? I love ceramic beads. Ooh, and we've got some gold filled These are sterling silver gold filled, and so they are a little more expensive, but the fact that we get these in the design kit and a full-size spool of my favorite beading wire, the Softflex beading wire, that makes this a really good value, actually. The fact that you get both of these in here. And then we've got some fire polish rondelles. Get the sparkle on those. And some enamel charms. I've got that. You've got some findings. You could, since you've got findings, you've got crimps, and you've got your wire, you could make jewelry like right off the bat without needing anything else except tools with this kit. It's great for beginners. It's also really fun for experienced beaders because you get sometimes some really challenging things in there that you might not expect somewhere else. All right, so let's get our little ceramic guys out here and we'll get them put away. I love that it's not just browns, that we've got these light blues and pinks to go with it as well. I love the chocolate cake, little birthday cake slices. These are ceramic beads. I love the coffee mugs. These are super cute. Alright, they're going in here as well. And I'm going to unstring some of these beads, and then we'll sort through the bead mix and the bead strand and get them sorted out into some of these other places. So let's get this guy unstrung. And these are, it looks like 7mm fire polish beads. As a full strand. And these are 6x8mm fire polish rondelles. There we go. Oop. Alright. And then these ones are 4mm. Or this really pretty, like topaz with Picasso finish. So that's our fire polish over there, and then we've got our ceramic beads with this lovely light pink glaze on it. Actually, that's a little bit full, so I'm going to open this up so these can have a little more room in there to relax and expand. And now let's start sorting our beads. Okay, every time I get these ceramic beads in a bead mix, they make me think of those little wrapped caramel candies. They always make me think of that. I love these teardrops, these amber colored teardrops with a gold rim. It's like they are already in a bezel and already framed. They are such a great way to make, let's say, an interesting design for earrings or something like that. For those drops. Then we've got some spacers or metal beads. These are kind of a less, not a yellow gold, but one of these like softer gold colors. And they have these nice wide holes. So these would probably fit really great on some leather or maybe some silver silk with these guys actually in design on some thicker wire or cord. Alright, and these are those crochet beads. They're an acrylic bead base, that clear acrylic bead base, and then it's got the crochet around it to make little sweater pairs, and because they're made of acrylic and cotton thread, they are very lightweight, so they would make fantastic way to add some bulk without the weight to an earring design. And then we've got these filigree bead caps. And these bead caps are great because they are so lightweight as well. They're easily malleable, so you can expand them out a little bit to fit wider. Like this one's a little bit bent in, but you can expand them out to fit wider beads if you want to. Like, here, let's get this on here. I find the easiest way to expand it out is to just press it down against the bead. That way it doesn't expand out beyond the circumference of the bead, but then it will fit nicely on there. So we've got these bead caps. And then we've got some rondelle spacers. These are rhinestone rondelle spacers. These are some smaller ones. So gold and white rhinestones. Then we've got some, I think these are star cut, light pink beads with an AB finish on them. They are so sparkly and pretty. And then we've got some hexagonal coin beads that are also faceted in this beautiful baby blue. And these smaller, like 4mm rounds with some faceting, again in that light baby blue. These ones are more opalescent, and these ones are more opaque. And then we've got some sort of beige colored light cream rondelles as well. So I've sort of sorted them into colors, and now we'll get our strand out and do some more sorting. So we've got some more beads on here to look at. Here's a couple more ceramic beads. These ones are round and they've got that really beautiful speckling on that glaze. I love this. Look at that. It's like sweater pattern. Almost like knitting, but also almost like olive branch or leaves or something, but they're all faceted so they sparkle. These are fantastic, and again they're nice wide holes so they'd fit on some larger stringing materials as well. Where do I put these guys? I don't know. And then we've got these that aren't quite pink, but they're not quite coral, but they're not quite brown. I think we'll go ahead and put them with our pinks though. think that'll work out pretty well. But take a look at this boho bead with some rhinestones, some resin flowers. Are they acrylic flowers? This is very lightweight, but with all of this detail on here, this is just a really fantastic focal bead that's going to be beautiful in a design as your main focus. Wonder if this would fit well on it. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. I'm going to put this over here with my other blue guys. Speaking of blue guys, we've got some larger rondelles and a couple of cube beads. That we can put in there with those. These are like sugary finish. It's got like this stardust finish on it. They're half and half. Latte, half and half. I love that. It's like the swirls on a cappuccino. I'm going to stick that over there. Is it only a single one of these on here? Or is that just from over there? It rolled over there. It probably rolled over from there. There's two metal beads here. These feel really lightweight though, so I don't know if they're actually metal. Or maybe they're just hollow on the inside. They might be, they bounce, so they think they might be acrylic beads that just have a metal finish on them. And then we've got our little rhinestone beads. And these guys are super cool. It looks like we've got a gunmetal flower thing. Again, nice large holes on them. And then these light pink, like romantic pink rhinestones all the way around through them. I'm going to actually stick them with my pink beads and not with my spacers because it's mostly gold findings over here. And it looks like we've got two different sizes of daisy spacers. We've got these smaller ones and we've got these larger ones. Alright, so I'm just going to set aside one of each of these metal things because I will usually do some nickel testing for my sister. My sister also got this box and she is going to be doing some designs with it, so look forward to that. You can get some extra inspiration from her as well as from me. Let's get these guys in here. Alright, get these larger beads that are a little bit not quite bead beads, but are, since I've got the room for them, I'm gonna go ahead and stick those there. And that's the that is the design kit. Alright, so let's go ahead and see if we can do a real quick knotted design using this cord that came in here. I think I'm going to do the fire polish beads for that. Maybe. Let's pull a few of these out. And I'm going to just melt the end of this because this is it is a plasticky type of cord. It's not a natural fiber. But I'm going to melt along here to make a point so that it'll go through the hole in the beads and not unravel while I'm doing it. I might need to charge this. It has not had a charge, or it hasn't needed to be charged since I bought it, so that is interesting. Yeah, let's see if I can just... I think that might be melty enough. Oop, yep. That'll work for that. Let's check that it fits on the 4mm fire polish as well. And it does. All right. Now let me grab a culotte. I'm going to just make a knot on the end of this. Like that. I think I might just make a little bit bigger knot. Okay. Now, let me get a little bead or a cord end for this. I'll be right back. Alright, so I've got these culottes. They're clamshell tips. They have a hole at the hinge and a little space in the middle that will cover the knot, and then these two holes at the end, they come together when you close it, and that's where you can attach things like jump rings and closures and things to something. I'm going to go ahead and slide that on here. I'm going to put it in with the clamshell facing towards the knot that I've got on the end of here. Just going to string that on here, move it all the way to the end, and right before I close it up, I'm going to burn off the end of this. There we go. And bring it off so it doesn't unravel. Come on. That's good enough. You can also put a little glue bit in here if you want to really make sure it's not going to come apart, but for the most part, it's going to do just fine like that. And then you can put a little jump ring through the end and have that strung on. Alright, so let's do a knot down here on the other side of this. Now you can use knotting tools or something like that. I'm just going to grab my tweezers and hold. Hey! Knotting is always a little fiddly for me, just letting you know. I just want to make sure that there is a nice knot there between my culotte and my next beads. So I'm going to actually just knot between my repeats and not between each bead. So I'm going to put on a 4mm, a 7mm, and a 4mm, and then do a knot. This way it'll go a little bit faster, but I'll also keep each of those separate. Where did that go? There it is. It's like, where'd that bead go? Like that. And then we do a little knot here. So I've got those 3 beads. Let's do another one. Whoop. And another one. And I'm just going to keep repeating this until I have a bracelet that is long enough that when I add a clasp, I can close it around my wrist. Alright, and this is starting to come apart a little bit, so I might need to melt it a little bit more to get my point back so that I can string my beads on like that. This is actually really fun. I'm wondering if maybe I should actually do a full bracelet length with this, or if I should do maybe half a length and then string on some beads for the other half and do an asymmetrical design. I might do an asymmetrical design actually, because that's that might be a little bit funner for me and quicker for y'all to see. I do believe though that there is enough of this cord to do a full-size bracelet strung on here. I don't think there's enough for a full necklace. There might be. But Yeah, let me do one more of these and then see if I can do a little asymmetrical bracelet with a strung portion on the other side. Because that so far would be, yeah, one more repeat, and then we'll close it off. I'll show you how we close it off. But yeah, if you want more inspiration on this, look for Jenny's designs. They'll be coming up in a little bit using this kit. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And you can always get tons of inspiration using this, again, in that VIB group. Hey. The strands are starting to come apart there. I'm plugging it in over here on the side. My cord doesn't extend all the way out here. Alright, that's another good reason to finish this up quick so that I don't have to keep melting the end. Alright, so I'm going to do a knot here, and then I'm going to do a little knot and attach my collant on the other end. Go. And now for this, I'm going to go in through the back end of it because I'm going to make a knot on this side and then close the collant around it. burn off this end. Burn the cord, not your fingers. Now I still have a bunch of this cord left that I can do other things with, like maybe make a tassel with it or something like that. Although honestly, it's been working so great for knotting. There we go. So I am going to go ahead and crimp one end of this onto this this loop here on the other side. And then string from there, because that's about halfway. And that should definitely be enough wire to be able to string another half of the bracelet and have room for crimping. Because you always want to make sure you leave room for crimping when you do something like that. Alright, so I'm going to grab my crimp tube and my wire, and I'm going to go ahead and go through here. And we're going to go back through the crimp tube. Scooch that right up. This way it will be all together. Let me grab my crimper now. I like to use a magical crimper. It's my favorite way of crimping because it means that I don't have to use a crimp cover. I'm terrible at using crimp covers. It works best on 0.018 and 0.019 wire, which Softflex is, and it works best on 2x2 crimp tubes, which these crimps are. So, when I say work best, it only works. By work best, I mean it only works on those. So you want to get that crimp centered in the only concavity that it has on the inside of this crimper. And then when you do that crimp, it presses down just the corners of that and leaves that rounded inner part alone. Then you turn it to a 90-degree angle. Go another little crimp. Turn it around and just hit it from all sorts of different angles. Just give it a little smush from each of those angles. And you want to make sure that you're using like a solid tube, not something that has a seam, or not something that is very thin brass, because those will crumple and fall apart under this type of crimping. But these ones that have a nice thick wall, a solid wall, they work fantastic with this style of crimp, and it is very secure. Alright, now let's see what I want for the other half of this bracelet. Maybe on this other half we can pop a focal bead in. Yeah, let's do one of these pink guys, like that. And there we go. One of those lightweight spacers. And a couple of these guys, actually, on the other half. Down. Do I need a few more? Okay, so maybe a couple more of these guys. Oh my goodness, I love it. I'm going to close it off with this guy for that section. And yep, that's going to be perfect size-wise. So let's go ahead and crimp. I'm just going to crimp a loop here, and then I'm going to grab some jump rings and a lobster clasp. In fact, there is a lobster clasp in here. But I do need to grab some jump rings, so. And we'll do that. But first let's get ourselves a little loop here on this end. You don't need to go back through beads when you do your closing crimp, but sometimes I do anyway. Alright, and I like to be able to make sure that I can get on both sides of my crimp when I do this. So I usually wiggle it with my fingernail until I can make sure it's centered. To get a little bit of space between, like a teeny amount of space between that last bead and my crimp. It's a little looser. Let's grab some jump rings. There's a 6mm. And a couple of 5mm ones. Sorry, grab a couple of them just in case. Now I need a another tool for this. Let's grab my chain nose pliers so that I can open and close some jump rings. The inside of this has a nice flat part. There we go. So it makes it easy for me to use it to hold one end of my jump ring while I twist it open. And attach things together. You can twist it closed. Oh, Ellen. Let's twist that one open. Add a jump ring to the other end. And go through both of the loops on that culotte. And now I've got a bracelet that I made with the Thanks a Latte design kit from Softflex. I will put links in the description below to Softflex if you want to check out their kits. They usually have the kits available, and if they have any extras of the bead strands and the bead mix, you can buy the bead mix individually outside of all of this. Sometimes they'll also post extras of if they've got some ceramic beads and that sort of thing. If they have any extras from this kit, it will be available at the Softflex site, and I will post a link to that. You'll also be able to find the newly released kit that they haven't done a reveal for, but which has gone up for sale today. I believe it's an angel, guardian angel kit. It looks really great. It's probably going to be tones of blues and silvers from the inspiration pic that they've posted. That's what I'm getting from that anyway. Alright, so until next time, my friends, happy beading.